This story is told from a perspective of 18-year-old girl. I know this is not a therapist office, but this has bothered me for a long time and I want to just get it off my chest. This happened June 2018 in Portland, Oregon. I understand I acted like an idiot in this situation. Since then, I have become much more observant, cautious, and honestly, much more paranoid. In that day, I went dancing with friends and really drunk by midnight. I barely remember my friend ordering me an Uber home. My phone was dead, of course. I can slightly recall them helping me into the car and telling me to get home safe. I don't remember greeting the driver or first minute or so, but soon after getting inside the car, he asked how my night was or if I smoked. Honestly, I was just thinking about bed at this point, so I sort out of just blabbered something. He then offered me a joint. This is the first moment I get sort of nervous and been paying attention. I tell him something like I'm really tired and I just want to be home. So he said it is an indica based joint and it made for a great sleep. Once again I said something not exactly like a no but not a S, which he takes as a S and said we will take this joint now. Once again for reminder, I am still drunk enough I can barely see straight or speak clearly. So he said, okay, well, I have to cancel the ride really quick because I can't give it to you while I am on duty or something related to that effect. It takes me a second to realize how dangerous that is. And when I started to say something, he has already cancelled the ride and pulled over his car. We were in an area just east of Hawthorne Bridge and it was totally private. There was some empty parking lots, a closed auto body shop, and no one in sight. It started to hit me really hard, so I am now in the car, not with an Uber driver, but with some stranger. I can't call anyone, and he's trying to give me the weed that could have anything in it. For the next minute, we are pretty quiet, or I just can't remember any small talk he tried to make because I was beginning to panic, and every time he handed me that joint, I would take fake hits, just breathing into my mouth and not into my lungs. I felt tired, clumsy, and weak. That kind of drunk where you are almost at the point of vomit, and I knew I couldn't do much of anything to defend myself at that point. I remember strongly being tricked by him, and I didn't even have a pair of keys to defend myself, as my building used electronic chip cards for doors. As I am freaking out, I look up to see if the guy is sort of noticing me, and I make eye contact with him in the mirror. He was staring at me, but I couldn't read his expression. Finally, he says something along with the lines of, well, let's get out of here. I told him I will just call another Uber to get home, thinking at this point it might even be safer to walk than with him. And he says, no, I still have your address, I will just take you home. For a moment I was relieved, I guess. I wanted to believe him so badly that I would get home safe. So I believed him. I tried to calm myself down, thinking he hadn't actually done anything threatening. Maybe he was just a typical stoner guy and I am overreacting. At this time, I lived on a PSU campus in downtown Portland in the southwest area of the city. He's driving me north on the east side of the river. There are several bridges to our left, and as he keeps moving north, he has several opportunities to take an exit to connect over the river and get me back to my location. He keeps skipping them. We keep passing bridge after bridge that could get me home. Up in the northeast Portland, there are some large industrial areas that can get very isolated at night, and Portland is generally surrounded by lots of forest, so I know he could have me in a private area in a really quick. After he passes like the fourth exit for a bridge without taking left, I have been racking my brain for a way to make him actually take me home and say something to the effect, hey, my boyfriend is waiting for me at the home, which was true actually. Though I said in a very gentle way, my driver says nothing, but he did take the next exit for a bridge and basically took a giant U-turn that started taking me home. Even though a few minutes before I was so scared, I was crying, so once we get about 2 blocks from my apartment, I lied and tell him it's easiest to stop here and he can let me out. Again, he doesn't say anything, but he did slow down the car. I am flooded with relief and I even feel myself smile. But when I was trying to open the car door, it's locked. I tried to lift the lock mechanism manually, but it won't move an inch. I look up at him instinctively to see what he is up to. And he got his head turned almost fully towards me, shoulders still facing the road, smiling at me, the worst fucking smile I have ever seen in my life. It looked so mocking, and it just did not reach his eyes at all. I just started crying and asking him to open the door. I was so freaked out and still very drunk. And thank God he did. I will never forget the sensation of vulnerability, not just being drunk in the car with no way to contact anyone, but even as I got out, I kept feeling like he would somehow grab the back of my shirt and pull me back inside the car, as silly as that sounds. When I got home, I found out my boyfriend had actually gone out with the friends last minute and wasn't even home. He wouldn't even know if I hadn't gotten back safe. The next day, I convinced myself I was freaking out over nothing, but in my gut, I had truly felt in danger the night before. Technically, this guy could have been totally harmless, but I still think I should have texted my friend and had her report him. I have reached out to my friend who called the Uber for me to see if she would report the driver. I haven't heard anything back, so I'm trying to pinpoint all the details of that night, the specific date to reach out to the Uber company. So guys, once again, do not let your Uber driver cancel your ride while in the car.